Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome to Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. If this is your first time here, welcome. Time is something that none of us can get back, so I do truly appreciate you spending your time with me. Much love. And for my OGs, yes, you are in the right place. I know things look and things sound different, but I promise you are in the right place. So 4 months ago, I launched this podcast and it was formerly called #Certified. My intentions with the podcast was to share conversations, share stories, share experiences, and messages from other people. You know, those soul-to-soul conversations. And that was great. I interviewed people, I let them share their story, and I would just basically weave my message in between theirs. Now, while that was all fine and dandy, however, after all the signs, all the messages from the universe and surrounding factors, I finally realized what I was actually doing. I was hiding. I was hiding behind other people. And it's like, no, you go first. You share your story. You share your message. No, you do that. You know, I was hiding who I truly am. I wasn't standing in my power. I wasn't speaking my truth. I wasn't even honoring my gifts or attracting and being true to my tribe. And when I say my tribe, not from a possession standpoint, but from the people that are, here to be placed in my path so I can help them along their journey. But how was I doing that when I was highlighting everyone else, where it was really like, I have a story, I have a message, and honestly, it's in my charts. And I'm not sure how much you guys know about astrology, but I'll talk about astrology, on this podcast as well. But the calling for me this past month, it was to dig more deep into astrology. Now, I know a little bit. I know a little basis of it. I know about my signs and my moon and the rising and stuff like that. But I never really was attracted to it. But this past month, the invitation for me was to dig deeper into astrology. But it wasn't to teach it. It was just to understand me and understand more about myself. And upon researching and checking and, drawing closer to astrology, I was able to learn about my north nodes and my south nodes. So when I say that I have a story and I have a message and that it's in my charts, what I mean, it's in my north node, which is my destiny, which is my fate. And what I uncovered is that I'm here to be in the front. I'm here to be in the spotlight. I'm here to be that leader. I'm here to just be out there. And what I was doing was I was hiding and I was in the background out of some fear, some deeper issue that I have to work through. And I would get these messages it's time to take a risk. It's time to be bold. It's time to put yourself out there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What am I going to do? Take a risk? I'm in Arizona. I pulled up to Arizona like what? Not knowing anything. So I think that was a pretty big risk. And then when I started digging into astrology and looking into my charts and seeing, because we all came here for, lessons and stuff. We'll talk more about that on another episode, But because I was digging deeper into that, those messages that I was getting started to make sense, because being bold, taking a risk, getting out of your comfort zone. I'm like, what do you mean get out of my comfort zone? Yeah, I was comfortable here. I was comfortable sharing the mic with someone else. I was comfortable helping people put their stories out and all that's great. But behind that, I was just hiding. It's in my chart, guys. It's in my chart for me to be in the spotlight, me to be in the front, for me to lead, to help other people. So this is all, it's not about, I got to get all the recognition and I got to do this and I got to do that. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's all about me taking the position of the role of what I came here to do, and that's to help you guys. And that's all in the most humblest way. So my number one gift that I've always known, whether I looked at it as spirituality or whatever, but I've always known this, and this is just feedback from people, is that my number one gift is my ability to connect to others. And I know that my gift is meant to be shared. It's not meant to just be, oh, let me play the background over here. Let me just, help this person. Let me help that person. But knowing that I'm here to help the collective on a masses basis. And like I said, my gift is meant to be shared. It's meant to be used, alongside my purpose, which is to help awaken your authentic self, to help guide you along your spiritual journey, to teach you that your current circumstance doesn't define you. Nothing defines you. To help you remember your purpose in life, because we all have a purpose. So contrary to what it is that you believe or what it is you think or what it is that you were taught, I'm here to let you know that we all have a purposes. Again, another thing we'll talk about on another podcast, but I'm here to let you know that there is more to life than this, more to life than the mundane. So if you ever question that and you're like, you woke up one morning or in the middle of the day, you're having a breakdown or whatever, and you're like, yo, there got to be more to life than this shit. I'm here to tell you it is. It absolutely is. That there's beauty everywhere and there's beauty in everything, even in the dark moments and the situations that you find yourself in. There's beauty in there. There's lessons in there. There's growth in there. There's opportunity in there. And if you open your eyes and your heart and you go within, you will realize that everything that you want, everything that you need, everything is already within you. And then here I come along. My role is to help bring it out of you, is to help bring that out of you. So what is there to expect? And you're like, okay, so I hear you talking. You say you're ready to lead. You say you're ready to be in the front. You say it's going to be more of just you and not with the guests. I see your name, the name change, seeing with your soul. I hear the music. I hear it's all different. But what's to expect? So I'm going to be coming to you every Thursday, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you. If life happens to get in the way, which sometimes life gets in the way, you're going to catch me on a Friday. But I promise you will catch me every week. We're just going to vibe. We're going to exchange energy. We're going to allow the ebbs and flows, right? I'm going to share my experiences with you. I'm going to share my lessons with you. And I'm going to share the wisdom that I learned along the way. And I think that's very, very important for all of us, is as we grow, as we evolve, as we go through lessons in the cycles of life and we repeat some cycles, and stuff, we're learning a lot of things. We're gaining knowledge and wisdom along the way. And I think that's important for each and every one of us to share that with others so they can learn from our experiences. And we're going to talk about a multitude of things. We're going to talk about healing, healing. We all need to heal. We're going to talk about authenticity. What is authenticity? How do you connect to yours? We're going to talk about boundaries. What's a boundary, right? And why boundaries are healthy in order for us to evolve and grow. We're going to talk about trusting and developing your intuition. Our intuition will never lie to us. Our intuition is ahead of the game. Our intuition is that feeling, that thought that we get and we don't have anything logical to back it up, but we are meant to trust it because it's ahead of its time. We're going to talk about the chakras. What's that? Right? We're going to go into the chakras. We're going to talk about our body. We're going to talk about how our body will never lie to us. It's going to talk about how our body is doing exactly what it's designed to do, to let us know when we need to put more attention to a certain area. We're going to talk about the power of balancing all of our main. We have a lot of chakras, but we have our 7 main chakras. We're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about what it looks like when they're off balance. And we're going to talk about what it looks like when they are balanced. We're going to talk about things like crystals, like the power behind crystals, how rose quartz is good for love. When I lived in Virginia, I would take a rose quartz and I would put it above every single door in my house, even bedrooms, closet, everything, because the intentions was that every time you walk in and out of that door, you're walking in and out of love, so I set that intentions in my house. We're going to talk about how certain crystals are good for absorbing negative energy, how certain crystals can help you heal. Certain crystals can help with the physical healing, as well as the emotional healing. We're going to talk about your shadow. Yeah, we're going to talk about that shadow, that scary thing, right? We're going to talk about what is our shadow? How is our shadow, born? Where did that come from? Why were we conditioned to believe that all of that was scary and something that we shouldn't face? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that inner voice. Like, what is that inner voice? What does it sound like? Why is it so powerful? Why do we need to listen to the inner voice? We're going to talk about, those things that people like to say, like, oh, that's that woo-woo stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about auras. What's an aura? We're going to talk about energy healing. We're going to talk about our ancestors. We're going to talk about spirit guides and our angels. And we're going to talk about, when we incarnated, like what we came here for. Again, you'll hear me saying over and over, we came here to evolve and we came here to grow. And how do we evolve and grow? We have to go through life lessons and we have to go through life cycles. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the generational cycles that we are on and how you can stop it with you. So it's not going to keep repeating. And again, we all came here to evolve and grow and to ultimately heal and come from a place of love. Because in life, we operate from love or we operate from fear. So the ultimate goal is to operate and basically choose love in any and everything that we do. So that's what we're going to do. Like, that's that's it. That's what we're going to do. However, before we even go there, let me reintroduce myself. So I'm Tisha Michelle. I come from a family bloodline of spiritual abilities and practices, something that at one point I wanted nothing to do with. Now, I always knew that I was gifted, but I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. I just knew that there was just something just different, whether people were saying it to me or I was just feeling it. I just knew that I was gifted. I didn't know what that, it couldn't make any sense of it because I wasn't consciously aware of these gifts and abilities until December 29, 2017, when my best friend of 22 years, Gloria, went to sleep and she never woke up. And that shit rocked my world. I questioned everybody. I questioned everything. I didn't understand when people would say, oh, God just wanted another angel and that's why he took her. And I'm like, really? Then God is a selfish ass. So I questioned God. I questioned everything. And I was like, yo, there has to be more to life than this shit. Because what do you mean? We're just doing the mundane stuff and we're having all these plans and we have children and we have spouses and we have all this and then we just go to sleep and we don't fucking wake up and we haven't even been sick. This shit doesn't make any sense to me. So none of that made sense to me. Now, I've experienced loss before, but it was just something different about this. And I think what it was because it was truly the unexpected. So even though that when we are born, we are really promised and we know that we're going to physically die one day. However, there's this underlining thing that makes you feel, and I'm not speaking for everyone, it just makes you feel like, yeah, we're all going to die at some point, but we're just going to get old and then we're going to get sick and then we're going to go. So no one truly said that's the only way that it happens. But for some reason, this is what we believe. So when something is unexpected like that, that shit is painful. That shit is awful. That shit is unbearable. Like, you have no control over it. Like, what do you mean? I just talked to her the night before. We had plans for X, Y, and Z. And what do you mean? All of that shit is just taken away? So I questioned everything. My world was, at that moment, I felt turned upside down. I didn't know what the hell to do. And it was awful. And I'm the person who everybody comes to, whether it's for advice or whether it's for comfort. But they come to me and I didn't have shit for anybody. I had nothing. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to comfort my children. That's their aunt. That's their godmother, that's family. And I didn't know what the hell to do. Now, through that loss and that pain of losing her, she gave me the greatest gift ever. I remembered my purpose, and then my awakening began. And I started going through that self-discovery journey and answering that question of, there has to be more to life than this. And I was so wanting to understand this that everything started opening up. And I started, these gifts and these abilities emerged. I seen the beauty in things. I understood people. I started understanding myself. I started removing the layers because there's no possible way that was all to life because it makes no sense. So things start to make sense. And as these gifts and everything started to fully develop and emerge, and I was nurturing them and nurturing myself and now nurturing others, and teaching the spirituality. So as a spiritual teacher and a certified hypnotist, I help you to identify and aid you in releasing the blockages from the past and then providing clear insight and tools. But these tools are for repatterning, reprogramming, and the ultimate healing. Healing, guys. Healing. And I can tell you right now, I heal by helping you heal. And I do this by tuning into your energetic field. And I'm connecting with your spirit guides or your ancestors or your angels. And I offer those intuitive guidance readings. And I do this so I'm able to give you the tools so that you can regain clarity. You can connect to your authentic self. You can embrace who you really are and find your voice, so that you're able to speak your truth and to help you remember your purpose in life. And you're able to receive a higher understanding and or a level of healing of yourself, but that's in which you seek. And I can let you know that all of my insights come from a place of non-judgment and compassion, because again, and I'm going to say this over and over and over and over, we came here to evolve and grow with the ultimate goal of choosing love over fear. So when I'm connecting with you, when I'm vibing with you and we're exchanging energy and I'm teaching you and I'm guiding you and I'm helping you remember and I'm holding your hand and it's this mentorship and everything is from that place of non-judgment and compassion. Because as you evolve and grow, I evolve and grow. As you're healing, I'm healing. So that's it, guys. That's what we're going to do. We're going to vibe. We're going to connect. We're going to heal together. So right now, I'm sending each and every one of you so much love and so much light. And if you need me to hold space for you, you can just set the intentions for me to hold space for you and just know that I'm holding space for you. If you want to reach out to me and say, Tisha, I need you to hold some space for me. You can follow me on Instagram at @itistisha. Send me a message. Just send me a DM. You don't have to tell me what's going on. Just say, hey, I really would like for you to hold some space for me. I really need it. And guess what? I got you. I promise. So until next time, bye guys.